Hello students, welcome to my channel School Online 24/7. And now today I'm going to describe second part of Bepin Choudhury's Lapse of Memory. I have already uploaded and described the part first of this chapter, and today I'm going to describe the second part of this chapter. Okay, let us a quick view of first part. In the first part, you all saw the story of Bipin Chaudhary, how he met with Parimal Ghosh in New Market, and he told him about his Ranchi trip. And now, second part of this chapter, I will describe for you from there. Okay, let us start now. Bipin Babu's car was safely parked in Buttram Street by the Lighthouse Cinema. He told the driver as he got into the car. Just drive by the Ganga, will you, Sitaram? Driving up the Strand Road, Bipin Babu regretted having paid so much attention to the intruder. Intruder means a person who intrudes, means who entered anywhere without anyone's permission. We would call him intruder. He had never been to Ranchi. On question, no question about it. It was inconceivable. Inconceivable means not capable of being imaginated or grasped mentally. Or you can say the meaning of this word in your simple language, unbelievable. That he should forget such an incident. Incident means event which took place only 6 or 7 years ago. He had an excellent memory unless Bipin Babu's had related. Dear had related means hoga. We was shocked and confused. This is the means of had related. And you can say he was shocked and confused. It's mean. Okay, now I'm going to explain this para's meaning. Listen. Bipin Babu went toward his car that was parked in Bertram Street nearby Lighthouse Cinema. As he sat in a car, he told his driver Sitaram to drive by Ganga. While the driver drove up the Strand Road, Bipin Babu felt immense regret at having given so much importance to the man. He knew he had never been to Ranchi and he was sure about it. He knew it was impossible for him to forget about such an important time of his life, and that too not from very long ago. It was only a period of 6 to 7 years, and regardless, means he thought about that it was a period of 6 or 7 years ago. So how it can be possible that he forget about the journey of Ranchi, about the Ranchi trip? He had no doubt related to his flawless memory, unless his head was shocked or confused. Now I'm going to take second paragraph, means next paragraph of this part. Yes, from there. Was he losing his mind? But how could that be? He was working daily in his office. It was a big firm and he was doing a responsible job. He was not aware of anything ever going seriously wrong. Only today he spoke for half an hour at an important meeting, and yet there the meaning of losing his mind, it means becoming mad, means he become slowly mad. He thought about it. And now I'm going to explain this para's meaning. Will it be apt to say that Bipin Babu was losing his mind? He asked the question by himself. It was quite impossible to believe because he worked a big firm and he worked daily there. He had a responsible job. Even if there was something not right, he never realized that there was something major going with him. That was particular day he spoke for a stretch of only half an hour at very important meeting that day. Next paragraph. And yet the man knew a great deal about him. How he even seemed to know some intimate details. Their intimate means very personal, private, you can say. The bag of book, wife's death, brother's insanity. The only mistake was about his having gone to Ranchi. Not a mistake, a deliberate lie. There, deliberate means done consequently or intentionally, you can say it. In 58, during the puja, he was in Kanpur at his friend Haridas Bagchi, Bagchi's p- place. All Bipin Babu had to do was write to. No, there was no way of writing to Haridas. Bipin Babu suddenly remembered that Haridas had left with his wife for Japan some week ago and did not have his address. Okay, now I'm going to explain. Listen it very carefully. The meaning of this paragraph. And after this, Bipin thought about. But it was also true that the man knew quite a lot about Bipin Chaudhary and that too some very personal detail. Details like his wife's death, bag of books, and a brother's insanity or mental condition are quite intimate details for a stranger to know about. The man was right about each and everything. Except the fact that Bipin Babu had been to Ranchi. The man was not making a mistake, but he spoke a deliberate lie because he thought about the man means Parimal Ghosh spoke a lie intentionally. He thought about it. Bipin Babu was sure that he was in Kanpur at that time and he was in puja to his friend Haridas home and the year was 58 and he stayed at his friend Haridas Bagchi's place. Bipin Babu just needed to write to Haridas to clear that the matter, but he suddenly remembered that he could not because he had moved to Japan a few weeks ago with his wife and Bipin Babu did not have his new address. So that time Bipin Babu did not know where his friend Haridas and his wife lived in Japan. He had no address of his home. So it is the meaning of this paragraph. And now I'm going to take next paragraph. But where was the need for proof? He himself was fully aware that had not been to Ranchi, and that was that. He thought about it. That that Bipin thought that there was no need for proof because he was sure that he had never been to Ranchi in his life, and there was no doubt about it. So it no need to any proof. The river breeze was bracing. Bracing means stimulating, or uh, you can say the river breeze were stimulating him, and yet a slight discomfort lingered in Bipin Babu's mind. Means stimulating means he was smothered at that time. He uh, was not able to take breath like before. Around his Hastings, Bipin Babu decided to roll up his trousers and take a look at his right knee. So there was the mark of an old inch long cut. It was impossible to tell when the injury had occurred. Okay, their meaning of linger. Listen, lingered means spend a long time or over something, and another one, hastings means rapidly of action or motion. Okay, now listen the explanation of this paragraph. The breeze along the river was comforting, but Bipin Babu's mind was still not at peace. Means he felt discomfort at that time. Amidst everything, he decided to roll up his trouser to see. He wanted to check out that he has injury or not. So he decided it. If his right knee has a mark, it means he told correct. But he has some dilemma in his mind. He had some dilemma in his mind, so he wanted to know it. He did find an inch long. When he wrapped his trouser, he find it on his right knee a 1 inch long cut. But it was nearly impossible to infer that date of the injury. He was not remember about this injury. Means Bipin Babu had no idea when he got this injury. Next paragraph. Had he never had a fall as a boy and cut his knee, he tried to recall such an incident but could not. Incident means event, or when was something happened in his life. He wanted to recall it. So next movement, we know he began wondering if he ever fell when he was a boy and cut his knee. He wanted to know when it was happened because he had no idea about this injury. Then Bipin Babu suddenly thought of Dinesh Mukherjee. The man had said that Dinesh was in Ranchi at the same time. The best thing surely would be to ask him. He lived quite near in Benenden Street. What about going right now? But then, if he had really never been to Ranchi, what would Dinesh think if Bipin Babu asked for a confirmation. He would probably conclude Bipin Babu was going nuts. Their going nuts means going mad or crazy. No, it would be ridiculous to ask him. So after it, Bipin thought about that, when he not got this wound in his childhood days and he had no memory about this injury, so he thought another thing. So no matter how hard he tried, he could not think of a time when he got himself injured. He had no idea about it. Amidst all this, he suddenly remembered that the man also mentioned in the story of Parmal Ghosh, and that was Dinesh. Dinesh Mukherjee. And Dinesh was in Ranchi with him too. So he thought it would be best to ask him about it. He lived in Bennington Street, which was nearby to his home. He thought of visiting him at the very moment, but the thought of what Dinesh would think of if he asked him about the trip of Ranchi, and he had never really been to Ranchi, made him stop. He was afraid Dinesh would concluded that Bipin had gone mad, means uh, Bipin had got a fear about the thought that when he will ask to Dinesh that it is real that we went Ranchi together in 58. So what Dinesh thought about me? He thought Bipin gone mad. So he did not ask him because it was a ridiculous idea. He thought about it, means Bipin thought about it. Next paragraph. And he knew how ruthless Dinesh was. The sarcasm could be. Their meaning of ruthless is having or showing no pity or compassion or mercy for others. Means you can say rude. And sarcasm means comment or harsh, commentative person or harsh person. And sipping a cold drink in his air conditioner room. Leaving room, Bipin Babu felt at ease again, such as nonsense just because their nonsense means a person or thing causing inconvenience or annoyance. Just because they have nothing else to do, they go about getting into other people's hair. And getting into other people's hair to annoy or bother someone. It is a proverb. So now I'm going to explain. Listen it. Moreover, Bipin Babu was well aware how merciless, how ridiculous person, how rude Dinesh could be when he was being sarcastic. Means he was mocked at him when he told to him. Means Bipin thought about that when Bipin will ask about this thing, he sarcasm on him. He commented on him, means he will comment on him. As he slipped his cold drink, he sipped his cold drink into the air conditioner room, living room, means it was his living room. He finally felt relaxed. He thought how annoying it was that just because people do not have much to do, they stayed bothering others. Okay, now next paragraph I'm going to take. After dinner, snuggling, their snuggling means settled or move into a warm, comfortable position in the bed with one of the new thrillers. Bipin Babu forgot all about the man in New Market. Next day, in the office, Bipin Babu noticed that with every passing hours, the previous day's encounter was occupying more and more of his mind. If the man knew so much about Bipin Babu, how could he make such a mistake about the Ranchi trip? So listen the explanation of this paragraph. Post dinner, he forgot all about the strange man in the new market as he snuggled in the bed means when he was comforting in his bed. One of his new thrilling books means that time he was reading his book. It was a thriller. And but the next day he realized when he was in office that the last day's incident was taking more and more of his attention as each hour passed. He started thinking that if the man knew even the most personal details about Bipin Babu, how could he be inaccurate about the Ranchi trip? He was thinking about the man, about his talks. Next paragraph. Just before lunch, Bipin Babu decided that to ring up Dinesh Mukherjee. It was better to settle the question over the phone. At least the embarrassment on his face would not show. So 235-616 Bipin Babu dialed the number. Hello, is that Dinesh? This is Bipin here. Is that Dinesh? This is Bipin here. Well, what what was the news? What is the news? Sorry, I just wanted to know. I just wanted to find out if you recalled an incident which took place in 58. 58. What incident? Were you in Calcutta right through that year? That is the first thing I have got to know. Wait just a minute. 58. Just let me check in my diary. Now I'm going to explain. Listen from the starting of this paragraph. It was just before lunch that Bipin Babu decided to confirm with Dinesh Mukherjee. If he thought of clearing the matter over a call. He wanted to call him by the phone and it would save him from facing the embarrassment before Dinesh Mukherjee. So he dialed the number 235-611-6 and heard hello. As Dinesh picked up the call, Bipin Babu confirmed if it was Dinesh on the line. Dinesh replied by asking him what news he had. Bipin Babu preferred not to go round and round and straightway asked him if he remembered the event that took place in 58. Then Dinesh asked Bipin Babu to be a bit clear. Bipin Babu asked him indirectly if he was in Calcutta that particular year. Dinesh told him that he will have to check his diary for this and after this he will be confirm of it. And so he asked him about some minutes. Okay, next. For a minute, there was a silence. Bipin Babu could feel that heartbeat had gone up. He was sweating a little. Hello, yes, I have got it. I had been out twice. Where? Once in February, near to Krishnanagar to nephew's wedding, and then, but you had no about this one and the trip to Ranchi. You were there too. That's all. But what is all that sheltering about? Sheltering means carrying out or stretch or investigation in the manner of detective. No, I just wanted to anyway. Thanks. Bipin Babu slammed the receiver. Slammed means put on. Sorry, put off. The receiver down and gripped his head with his hands. It means to catch something. He felt his head swimming. A chill seemed to spread over his body. There were sandwiches in his tiffin box, but he did not eat them. He had just lost his appetite. Appetite means desire of uh, eating. Means he when someone want to eat something and fill his stomach. It the meaning of appetite. It is the meaning of appetite. Now I'm going to explain. Listen the meaning of this paragraph from there. There was a silence between them while Dinesh checked his diary. At that time, Bipin Babu could feel his heart rate going up and he had ever started sweating. Dinesh came back and resumed speaking. He told Bipin Babu that he had been out twice in year 58. Upon being asked, Dinesh told that he went out once to attend his nephew's wedding Krishna Nagar in February, and second he said Bipin Babu would also know about because he was there with him with Dinesh Mukherjee that they had gone together to Ranchi. Dinesh asked Bipin Babu the reason behind his questions, to which he did not give a reply and hung up. Means he cut the phone. He had his head. He held his head and he catch his head. You can say it. Yes, from he held his head with his hands and felt as if there his head was swimming. He even experienced chills all over his body. He had brought sandwiches in his tiffin box for lunch, which he did not eat because he had lost his appetite. He had lost his eating something. He has lost his desire to eat something. And thus your part 2 of the chapter Bipin Babu lost his lapses memory is finished here. So I hope you all understand it very well. So thanks for watching this video.